After being forced to leave her farm, Carrie Underwood tended to a small, ailing acquaintance. Since the conclusion of American Idol, Carrie has undergone a lot of changes. Fans, however, adore receiving updates on her life and leisure activities. She must put in a lot of labor because she owns a farm. But she also had to leave the property recently. There's a lot to discover and reveal. To learn more about this circumstance, continue reading. On her land, Carrie Underwood owns a farm. She has wanted to spend her leisure time doing this. Carrie updates followers and shares her to-do list all the time. Underwood has a garden as well. Making more food from scratch and preserving items have become her hobbies. Indeed, it is less expensive. But she enjoys doing this, so she does it. She enjoys spending time outside and working on the farm. Carrie enjoys cooking for her family as well. But lately, a swarm of bees surrounded a blueberry bush, forcing her to leave her property. Since nobody wants to get stung by a swarm of bees, this was frightening. After being forced to leave her farm, Carrie Underwood is now assisting a small buddy. She shared some images of a sick rooster on social media. She was smiling while holding the rooster in order to get a photo. On her farm, she takes an active role in this. Fans can only speculate as to how she has dealt with the ill rooster. Fans are eager to see what happens to the rooster, and Carrie will provide updates. Carrie seems to be dealing with a sick rooster. It didn't like that she had it in a harness. Carrie's concern was for the rooster, but she was handling it, and she would help in any way she could. She also seemed to have been successful in getting rid of the bees so she could return to her farm. She disliked this since she likes to work on the farm in her spare time. How do you feel about this circumstance? Is it surprising that she is so involved? Comment below with your thoughts. Your opinions on this matter would be greatly appreciated. The expansive landscape was bathed in a golden glow as the sun had just began to peak above Oklahoma's undulating hills. It was one of those quiet mornings when you feel as though time has stopped for a second. Chaos, however, ruled inside a little, dilapidated farmhouse on the edge of a sleepy town. The well-known country singer Carrie Underwood, who was praised for her heartfelt voice and empathy, had encountered an unforeseen circumstance. A violent storm prompted her to seek shelter on the farm where she had grown up, away from the busy city life. She found her small, frail companion, a sick, injured squirrel named Pip, during that storm. Pip wasn't your typical squirrel. He was small, approximately the size of a tennis ball, with a shaking paw and a patch of frayed fur. Carrie had first seen him when she was out for a walk in the woods and saw the small animal scrounging for food. After carefully picking him up and observing the injuries on his leg, she made the decision to take care of him right away. Now, though, Carrie knew she couldn't abandon Pip stranded because of the storm outside and the disruption to her plans. Her instincts informed her that he needed help immediately since he was very weak. The storm had not let up. The dark farmhouse was illuminated by lightning flashing across the sky and thunder roaring like a freight train. Carrie hurriedly packed items from her pack, including an old towel, water, and pieces of fruit and nuts. She held Pip in her arms like a priceless jewel as she gently wrapped him in the towel. The rain beat down on the roof outside. The farm was remote, and the muddy paths soon turned dangerous. Carrie realized she had to leave. Pip's health was getting worse, and the storm was too intense. She decided that they needed to go and find somewhere else to stay. As a result of the storm, the network was down when she reached for her phone to contact for assistance. Her heart thumped with resolve and anxiety. She had to follow her gut. Clutching Pip to her chest, she quietly slid out the back door. Every step was difficult due to the slippery ground. She recalled her grandmother's stories about the adjacent forests and the former wildlife refuge just across the creek as she made her way through the downpour. With every stride, Carrie's boots dug into the mud, but she persisted because of her determination. The sanctuary, a remnant of earlier conservation efforts, was now deserted, but it provided Pip with a secure haven to recuperate in and protection from the storm. Carrie eventually arrived to the overgrown paths that led to the refuge after what seemed like hours. The gates creaked open, old and tangled with ivy. With their leaves telling tales of bygone eras, the trees stood towering and motionless inside. Under a big oak tree, whose roots provided a natural shelter, she discovered a comfortable alcove. After removing any trash, she gently laid Pip on a soft area of moss. Weary, the squirrel blinked feebly and buried himself in the moss, his small paws gripping the material of her sleeve. Despite the turmoil, Carrie felt a peculiar sense of calm as she gazed around. Finding a place to stay was not enough for her. Pip required medical care. She recalled the former wildlife rescue facility, which was only a short drive away and had personnel who were experts in treating injured animals. She took out her phone once more, dialed the rescue center, and was able to acquire a faint signal. As she described the circumstances, her voice faltered. The employees promised to send someone right away. Carrie sat next to Pip and sang to him quietly while they waited, her voice mingling with the sweet sound of leaves rustling. She was resolved to do everything within her power to assist this small creature, knowing that it now depended on her. A group of wildlife rescuers soon showed up. Pip was closely inspected, and they noted his weakness and wounds. Carrie's heart ached for the helpless creature as she watched with anxiety. She was reassured by the rescuers that Pip had a high chance of recovering if given the right care. Carrie kept in contact with the rescue facility throughout the course of the following several days to inquire about Pip's condition. She frequently brought fresh berries, snacks, and kind words to the sanctuary. Every visit served as a reminder of the value of kindness toward all living things, no matter how tiny, and the fleeting beauty of life. Carrie experienced a revitalized feeling of purpose throughout this period. Her time on the farm had served as a haven from the spotlight, but taking care of Pip reignited her desire to help humans and animals alike. She came to see that all life, no matter how small, was worthy of love and care. As the weeks went by, Pip's health gradually became better. His strength had restored, his fur had grown back, and he was prepared to be released back into the wild. He scampered up a tree with renewed energy, and Carrie followed into a safe clearing inside the sanctuary. Carrie was overcome with appreciation as Pip vanished into the branches. Although she had come to the farm in search of comfort, she discovered something even more priceless, a reminder of the compassion that unites all people. The sky was clearer, and the heart was full of optimism when the storm passed. Carrie was aware that this encounter had permanently altered her life. She took the lessons she had learned from her little friend, about empathy, fortitude, and the value of lending a hand to others, no matter how small, with her as she resumed her hectic schedule. Once back in the city, Carrie used her experience as inspiration to write a new song. It was a ballad about healing, hope, and the power of kindness. Fans all throughout the world were moved by the song, which served as a reminder that there is always light worth fighting for, even in the darkest storms. Pip the squirrel, a representation of survival and the miracle that occurs when someone is kind enough to assist a small, ill friend in need, flourished someplace in a peaceful haven amidst the trees. There are tales of wealth and fame, of songs that top the charts and glistening red carpets. But sometimes the quiet stories, the ones that take place in the shadow of barns, on dusty rural roads, and after dusk, are the most memorable. One of those tales is this one. Carrie Underwood, a country music superstar whose recent act of compassion has won hearts far beyond radio waves, is at the center of it all. Stories of emotion and courage are nothing new to Carrie, a 7-time Grammy winner and powerful vocalist known for songs like Jesus, Take the Wheel, and Cry Pretty. But when she was at the center of a real-life rescue involving a little ill animal in dire need of assistance, nobody could have imagined how those themes would actually come to life in her own garden. It started on a sunny summer evening on Carrie's expansive farm near Franklin, Tennessee. The Underwood Fisher family had created a tranquil haven just outside of Nashville, complete with gardens, acres of forests, and a few farm animals. The former American Idol winner frequently gave viewers a peek into her rural life by posting pictures of her cherished rescue dogs, growing vegetables, or picking blackberries with her sons Isaiah and Jacob. Carrie subsequently said on Instagram Live, "I saw the security lights near the barn go off as I was just coming in from the studio. We've had a few feathered houndness, so at first I thought it was one of the chickens escaping again. But when I went outside with my flashlight, I discovered something unexpected. Shivering beneath a bale of hay close to the goat pen's border, Carrie glimpsed a blur of white fur. It was an alpaca infant, scarcely larger than a house cat, with shaky legs and sides that heaved from feeble breathing. The critter appeared frightened, undernourished, and utterly alone. Carrie wiped away her emotions as she described the incident, saying, "It was the saddest little face. She had sunken eyes. She had burrs all over her. She was also really frail. She needed someone, even though I knew she wasn't ours." Quickly, without hesitation, Carrie took the alpaca in her arms and held it tenderly, like she would hold one of her babies when he was ill. With shaky fingers, she dialed her longtime veterinarian and ran toward the home in her slippers. Dr. Leela Green showed there with an emergency kit in 45 minutes. Dr. Green attested to the fact that she was underweight and terribly dehydrated. To be honest, she wouldn't have survived the night. In Carrie's kitchen, where gold records adorned the walls and the aroma of freshly baked banana bread persisted from earlier in the day, they gave her IV fluids and an antibiotic medication. After clearing her marble countertop and spreading soft towels, Carrie spoke quietly, "You're okay now, little one," as she brushed dirt and debris off the alpaca's coat. "You're secure." Mike Fisher, a retired AHL player and Carrie's husband, proposed that they call daughter Luna because, in his words, she found her way to us under the moon. To see if anyone had reported a missing alpaca, local animal control and other farms were visited the following morning. Unexpectedly, nobody had. Carrie claimed that none of the neighbors knew where she might have originated from and that she lacked a microchip. She seems to have just appeared, as if she was destined to discover us. Luna stayed in Carrie's care for days, getting fed, washed, and gradually getting stronger. Carrie was immediately adored by her sons, who referred to her as their magic cloud. Bundled in a lovely pink baby blanket, the brothers even persuaded their mother to let Luna watch cartoons with them in the den as they sang her lullabies at night. "We've had animals in the past," Carrie said. However, this felt different. Luna picked us. A lot of people are unaware that Carrie had been quietly struggling when Luna came. After a demanding Vegas residency and her 2023 Denim and Rhinestones tour, Carrie acknowledged that she was feeling creatively and emotionally depleted. "I was worn out," she said. "I couldn't identify what I was missing."